Hello everybody, this is Arokya Das, your biology faculty. I'm going to continue with session 2 of chapter 4 Animal Kingdom. Hope everybody are ready with your notes and pen. Those are not attended my previous class, I request everybody to go visit the website, search our channel and watch my first session of Animal Kingdom and then can attend this session. For those who already attend this session, I just want to brief about what we discussed in our previous class. Okay, so we discussed about basis for Animal Kingdom. So what are the bases that are required to classify animal into different groups? And then in that we studied levels of organization, and then we discussed about the two types of digestive system present in Animal Kingdom. Okay, and what are the difference between these two types of digestive system. And I think finally we concluded with the two types of circulatory system, open type of circulatory system and closed type of circulatory system. So that was of session 1 biology in specific zoology introductory class for you. So today we'll get into the next part of the same topic, Animal Kingdom. So yeah, this is one of the parameter to group animal, okay, into different categories. So speaking about symmetry ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ exactly ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಶೇಪ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ, okay, or else how the body shape will be in animals, that's what. So based on this symmetry also we can categorize animal into different groups. To speak about there are three types, okay, there are three types of body symmetry in animals. There are three types of body symmetry in animals. So among that, the primitive one or the first type that we are going to study is asymmetry. The animals having asymmetrical body. Okay, so now if you see the word asymmetry here, A stands for absent. So the animal shape will not be regular. So here they have given an example. So this example is nothing but cycon. Okay, cycon, or else in my previous class I gave you another example that is poriferans, sponges. So now if you see cycon or any sponge or any animal belonging to phylum Porifera exhibits this type of symmetry. So first I gave you the example. Now we'll try to know what is this asymmetry actually mean. Asymmetry means there is no proper symmetry. The body on the particular shape ali illa anta artha. So if you see it is having a irregular shape. So if you still have a doubt, once I complete this slide, you'll understand what exactly asymmetry means. Okay, now the second type of symmetry is radial symmetry. Okay, here I'll write radial symmetry. Now radial symmetry, actually I would have given you the example of jellyfish. Okay, jellyfish belongs to phylum Coelenterata. So now at this stage don't get confused which animal belongs to which group or which phylum. Don't worry about that, I'm just giving you the example. So to understand this topic you need to be attentive for 4 to 5 classes, then only you'll come to know how these terms are interlinked to one another. So radial symmetry, I have taken starfish as an example. Starfish na ellaru nodirtira, star shape ide anta. So adike starfish gives you better idea, okay, better idea or understanding how the body shape is. Now speaking about radial symmetry, if you take this starfish, you can see I have put numerous arrow marks like exactly the way your spokes in your cycle tire has been arranged. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಟೈರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಆ ತಂತಿಗಳು ಆ ತರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್? So if you take this starfish, okay, now I will draw another line. If you take a starfish and if you cut the animal in this plane, if you cut the animal in that plane, what I have drawn over there, you can see two equal halves, ಎರಡು equal ಅರ್ಧ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. So this side one half and another side one half. So two equal half you will get, wherein one half is the mirror image of other. ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧದು ಒಂದು ಹಾಫ್ದು ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬ ಈ ಕಡೆದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? So this is called as radial symmetry. So I will add one more point. Now I have drawn a line at the center. Now I am going to draw another line. You can see now. Forget about the first line. Okay, forget about the first line. And now if you see the second line, you can see here also this side half and another half is this side now. ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಇದೆ. And if you see, each half is mirror image to one another. So now forget about these two lines. Forget about these two lines what I have drawn now. So I am going to draw one more line, one more half. I am going to cut the animal in this plane also. Actually, it's not exactly the center, but assume it at the center now. Now, if you cut this animal in this plane also, you are getting two equal halves, wherein one half is the mirror image of another half. So you can assume any of the line, blue color line with arrow marks now there, and see any one line you can assume, and you can see two equal halves are there. ಎರಡು ಅರ್ಧ ಬರ್ತದೆ, wherein one half is the mirror image of another. So we'll pause there. We'll come on to the third type of symmetry, that is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, by ಎರಡು, okay? Bilateral symmetry. If you see this symmetry, I have given you the example of human being and a crab. Okay, both belong to different groups, different phylum. Okay, now to understand easier, I have given both the examples. If you see humans, I can see one line I have drawn at the center. ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಲೈನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ಬ್ಲೂ ಲೈನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ drawn this line exactly parallel to the backbone. ಈ backbone ಗೆ exact ಆಗಿ parallel along the axis. Okay, exactly along the backbone axis I have drawn this blue color line. So assume we are not cutting the human into two. Many a times when I explain in the class, students will think why we should cut the animal in all the plane, why should we cut humans in single plane? No, this is not the matter of we cutting the animal. To study the organs arranged, okay, the shape of the animal, we are going to study this animal. Okay, now if you see humans, I have drawn one line. That line is running along the axis of backbone, vertebral column. ಅದರ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಇನ್ ಅಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಟ್ ದ ಅನಿಮಲ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಟೂ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಹಾಫ್, ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಹಾಫ್, wherein one half is the mirror image of the other. ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬವಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಅದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಬ್ ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿತ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಸಾ ಒನ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಲೈನ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇನ್. Now it is clear that this half above the line and below the line half is not same. So they are not mirror image to one another. So exactly the same principle you can apply in this crab. You can see a black line at the center which is running to the central median axis, through the central vertebral column line. Okay, if you see two equal half is there, the first half and the second half. If you see both are same, mirror image to one another. Right? But at the same time, assume if I am cutting the animal or drawing the line in this perpendicular to the first line, you don't get two equal halves. Understood? Now I will revise all the three symmetry now. So there are three types of symmetry in animal kingdom. One is asymmetry. Asymmetry means that animal doesn't have a proper body symmetry. Animals ke proper body shape irodilla. Okay na? So that is A means absent there. So done. Example is cycon belonging to phylum Porifera, or the animals belonging to phylum Porifera are asymmetrical. And the second one is radial. Radial symmetry, if you see, if you cut the animal in any plane through the center, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ plane ಅಲ್ಲಿ cut ಮಾಡಿ through the center, you will get two equal halves, wherein one half is a mirror image of another. But the third one, the advanced one, so you should remember that. So the first one will be basic and the last one will be advanced. Okay, and if you see the bilateral symmetrical study, here if you cut the animal only through central median axis, you will get two equal halves where one half is a mirror image of the other. You can give example of arthropod, crab, human, etc. At this moment, you can just pause the screen and take a screenshot and write down all the three types of symmetry, and you can write down the notes for that one once you collect the study material. So headings you can write it down, and you can take the definitions which is there in the study material. So keep one thing in mind, definitions you cannot write your own definition, you have to stick on to the textbook definition what we have mentioned in the study material. Hopefully this concept of symmetry is clear to you. If you are having some confusion, just rewind it and once again you go through this symmetry study. Okay, I will move to the next slide now. Embryonic layers. This is one of the very important bases to classify animals. Don't get confused. Okay, so here if you see, here also we come across two types of animals if you classify them based on their embryonic layers. What are these embryonic layers? After the sperm and egg fuse, they become blastula, adadmele gastrula anta agutte, and then layers of cells will be formed. We call it as germinal layers. Maybe if you are not understanding the concept, no issues. You can just understand the definition. If you understand the definition, is more than enough for you to understand the concept. So first one to speak about diploblastic organisms. Okay, diploblastic condition or and triploblastic condition. So now you can see the diplo, di, okay, and tri. Diplo, di means 2, triplo means 3. So now if you see here I have shown a schematic representation of the cut section of embryo. Okay, embryodu cut section ತೋರಿಸಿದೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ different color na allot ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ನಾನು. We have given different color for that one. So now if you see diploblastic condition, you see here blue color, the outer blue color layer is called as ectoderm. Ecto means outer. Ecto ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈಚ್ ಕಡೆ, outer. So diploblastic condition or diploblastic animals are those which are made up of two germinal layers. Okay, the definition you can easily tell is diploblastic condition or diploblastic animal are those whose body is made up of two germ layers. Body is made up of what? Two germ layers. That word is very important. But two layers if you mention, it is wrong. So you have to tell two germ layers. Two germ layers. Diploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of two germ layers, namely outer ectoderm. Okay, you can see outer ectoderm and inner. Endo anta helidre, endo means inner endoderm. Outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. So the definition goes like this: diploblastic organisms are those which have two germ layers, namely outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. So now if you concentrate on the schematic representation, endoderm is represented with green color, ectoderm is represented with blue color. Madhyadali, in center you can see some gray color structure. A gray color structure, it is a non-living layer. What is the meaning of that one? Ectoderm, outer layer is made up of cells. Okay, outer layer is made up of cells and then it forms tissues. Inner layer is also made up of cells and tissue. That means both ectoderm and endoderm are living layers. Living layers. This non-living layer which is present in between ectoderm and endoderm is called as mesoglia. The word meso refers to middle, madhya. Okay, the word meso refers to what? Middle. The word meso refers to middle. Okay, so now you have to just give this and you can see, and at the center there is a digestive cavity, digestive system cavity at the center only opening irutte. So now to tell, diploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of two germ layers, namely outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Okay, so two layers. So that mesoglia is not a living layer, so we are not considering it as a layer. Now triploblastic organisms or triploblastic condition. As I already said, tri means three. So here triploblastic organisms body is made up of three germ layers. Their body is made up of three germ layers, germinal layers. If I ask to tell what are the three germ layers, it's already mentioned under schematic representation. So triploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of three germ layers, namely outer ectoderm, inner endoderm. So till here it is same as diploblastic. Now an additional layer is there, right? And an middle mesoderm. So outer ectoderm, inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. So most of the students, when I ask the definition in the class, they say triploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of three germ layers, outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. Actually you may get marks for that one, but biologically that definition concept is wrong. Why? Because if you see in diploblastic organisms, we already have ectoderm, we have endoderm. Okay, here also we have ectoderm and endoderm, but the advanced condition, so which is the advanced condition here? Triploblastic is the advanced condition. So here in triploblastic organism, already two layers are formed. Ectoderm and endoderm is already formed. Ectoderm and endoderm is already formed. The additional layer is middle mesoderm, that you have to mention at the end. To summarize this embryonic layers, based on the embryonic layers, the animals are divided into two categories: diploblastic animals and triploblastic animals. Diploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Wherein triploblastic organisms are those whose body is made up of three germ layers, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. Understood? So for diploblastic organisms, for example, you can take jellyfish, and triploblastic organisms, you can take example flatworms, earthworm, anything. Okay, hope you are clear with the concept of diploblastic and triploblastic condition. So here you can pause the screen and make a note of these two important definition. Okay, so I'll move to the next slide. Now another important concept, coelom in animals. Okay, now coelom is a new term for you. We need to know the meaning first. Coelom means, actually in English, internal body cavity. Put it in your mind. Coelom means, coelom anta helidre eno? Internal body cavity. Hangandre enu? What does it mean? So you'll not understand now. You'll understand only once I complete all these three schematic representation which is there in front of you on the screen. Okay. So now animals are classified into three types based on the type of coelom. So now we will go one by one. The first condition, okay, first condition is acoelomate condition. First condition is acoelomate condition. Hangandre enu? As I said there, what I said, asymmetry I mentioned. A was representing what? Absent. Exactly here also A. So this is A and this is B. So don't get confused with to double A there. So acoelomates. So here this A refers to what? Absent. A refers to absent. So simple. If you want to define this condition, you can tell acoelomates are those organisms in which coelom is absent. Coelom means what? Internal body cavity is absent. That's it. Okay, I'll come back to that because once we finish this, we have to revise this again. So acoelomates are those organisms in which internal body cavity or coelom is absent. Example, flatworms. So in this three representation also you can see ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, right? So now coming on to the second definition or second condition, pseudocoelomates. Okay, so the word pseudos, English meaning, okay, English meaning I will write. Pseudo refers to false, tappu, okay, false. Now pseudocoelomate, okay, pseudocoelomate. Coelom means we know, coelom means internal body cavity. No, we should also know what is that internal body cavity I am mentioning from 1 or 2 minutes back. We'll try to know this one, pseudocoelomates. In this organism, there is a cavity. In this organism's body, there is a cavity. A body ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು cavity ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿನ mesoderm is not covering that cavity. Okay, mesoderm is not surrounding, lining or putting a boundary. Okay, so that's why this cavity is called as false body cavity. I believe still some of you are having a small hint of doubt. So don't worry, try to listen to the till the end of this slide. Okay. Now speaking about the third type, that is coelomates. Coelomates. Okay, you can see coelomates. This word. It is also called as, actually this is the right term what I am writing. Eucoelomates. The word eu refers to true. Eucoelomates. There in the previous one I said false. So put one thing strongly in your mind. If you want to call any cavity in our body or space, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಬಾಡಿ cavity ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, if you want to call it as a true cavity, that cavity should be covered. It should be lined. Lined is the correct word. Covered, okay. This cavity should be covered by mesoderm. Mesodermally a cavity cover agidre matra we call it as true coelom. Understood? Okay, assume in the second condition you can see there is a cavity. Okay, in the second condition there is a cavity here. Okay, here is a cavity, but that is not covered by mesoderm. Okay, that is not covered by mesoderm. So we call it as pseudocoelom. Okay, so you can see it is only one side, it is mesoderm. Okay, only one side you can see it is mesoderm, but here you see, here you have a cavity. Okay, this is cavity, so we are mentioning it as coelom now. This cavity is surrounded, covered, lined. See, you can see this cavity is covered fully by pink color structure. Can you see? This side also mesoderm, this side also mesoderm. So now, hence this cavity is covered all the sides by mesoderm. This cavity we call it as true body cavity, true internal body cavity, or in general biologically we call it as coelom. Okay, now I will just revise all the three definitions to clear your doubts. So coelom. So animals are classified into three types. based on the type of coelom they possess in the body. Okay, first one, acoelomates. As I have mentioned, A refers to absence. So, acoelomates are the organisms in which coelom is absent. In which internal body cavity, or you can use the word coelom. Acoelomates are the organisms in which coelom is absent. Example, flatworm. I believe now you don't have doubt in acoelomates. Now coming to pseudocoelomates. So coelom means internal body cavity, pseudo means wrong, false. So now we'll go with the definition. Pseudocoelomates are the organisms which have false bad body cavity that is not lined, that is not covered by mesoderm. Pseudocoelomates are the organisms having false body cavity that is not lined by mesoderm. Example, roundworms. The last one, eucoelomates, or you can just call them as coelomates. Better use the word eucoelomates. Eucoelomates are the organism having a true body cavity. They are having true body cavity which is lined, So which is lined, L-I-N-E-D, which is lined, surrounded by mesoderm. Example, earthworm, humans, etc. So these are the three types of animals classified based on the type of coelom they possess in the body. Okay. Still, if you have any confusion, rewind it for 5-6 minutes and again you watch this one. At this moment, you can pause the screen and make a note of these three important definitions with examples. I'll move to the next slide now. Now, this is a broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on common fundamental features. So, my previous class and this class, we studied many important points that is required for us to study the group of animals. Okay, group of animals. So, the group of animals, what we call as phylum, is there on the right side. Okay, if you see kingdom Animalia, which we considered only multicellular organism, if you remember, I mentioned about amoeba, but I said we are not going to study amoeba in the theory class, only in the practical class we are going to study. So, among multicellular organisms, we discussed cellular level of body organization and tissue, organ and organ system level. So, cellular level of body organization, if you see, okay, so here symmetry, if you see all the poriferans, so you can see among cellular level of body organization, we are going to study only one phylum, that is phylum Porifera. So if you see the symmetry what that phylum exhibited was asymmetry. Okay, asymmetry. And body cavity we are not going to mention here because we are going to speak about the body cavity only when, okay, only when they have 3 germ layer, only if they are triploblastic in condition. Okay, so now cellular level, if you speak about tissue level, so once again if you see there, we discussed about radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Okay, the animals with radial symmetry, there are 2 phylums, that is phylum Coelenterata, that is the second phylum that we are going to study, and phylum Ctenophora. Okay, so the right side which I am giving the numbers, we are going to study in detail, so don't worry, this chart is just to show what we are going to study further. And then if you see bilaterally symmetrical animals, okay, in that just now we discussed acoelomates, pseudocoelomates and eucoelomates. Okay, so among acoelomates there is only one phylum, that is Platyhelminthes, and among pseudocoelomates there is only one phylum to study, that is Aschelminthes, and among coelomates many are there. Okay, there are many, we are going to study one by one. Okay, so don't get confused, each phylum is very easy once we keep one animal as example in our mind. So totally in non-chordata, okay, non-chordata which do not have notochord or vertebral column, for time being that is a wrong concept, but still among non-chordata, okay, we are going to study Among non-chordata, we are going to study stem phylum, and finally, after 5-6 class, I believe, we are going to study chordates. We are going to study chordates. So, still 1 or 2 points may arise in your mind. So, what you do, as I said, you pause, make a notes, and you have to study from the study material or from the government prescribed textbook. What you should do is, if whenever you come across a doubt, make it a point. So this doubt I have to discuss with Das sir. Okay, so those doubts will be cleared if at all I come in online, or else when we meet in the classroom session, we will clear all those doubts. So once again, I remind you, please maintain a notebook, and every slide what I am showing, you pause and write it down neatly. For a biology student, blue dot pen is very much compulsory. Pencil, scale, eraser is very, very important. So what you practice now, you will depict on your answer script in your final exam. So don't simply scribble and write rubbish. So write neatly. So this is the broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on common fundamental features. Now our next task or next assignment or next study is what? Studying each phylum. Okay, each phylum you have to study in detail, and what are the characters they exhibit, and what are the type of animals they and so this, if you see, I have put numbers 1 to 10 I have put. So this numbering is also given based on how from simpler animals to complex animals. So now simpler animals inda complex animals na study ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಫೈಲಮ್ ಇಂದನೂ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. I know you have studied few points in your school, but we are going to study 2-3 points extra in college also. Okay, so for today's session, I will log out. Okay, I am signing off. I request all of you to make a note of today's class and prepare yourself well. Okay, so do watch my classes according to the order. Don't watch my class from middle. Okay, and especially my first 2 classes are very, very important to understand the entire topic. So if you watch more number of times, the entire means the future classes will be very, very easy for you. Okay, signing off from you. Thank you very much. Study well.